The lead story for Monday, June 16th. Annie Wojcicki, founder of 23andMe, has successfully repurchased a genetic testing firm out of bankruptcy through her nonprofit TTAM for $305 million, surpassing a prior winning bid from Regeneron. The deal excludes the company's liabilities, may ease public concerns over genetic data, and gives her continued leadership. The acquisition still requires court approval, while lawsuits related to a 2023 data breach remain unresolved. The company shares a surge on recovery hopes. I want to welcome you to episode 1867. I'm your 1827, jump 40 episodes. But I know many folks were worried about this very specific acquisition. A lot of people were worried that it was going to get bought by a firm that would take all the data and have basically all of your DNA for any of you that's submitted to 23andMe. Now, I have never given my DNA to anyone. Ancestry, 23andMe. I've had family members do that, so it's basically just as good as me having done that, because I'm just I guess what is it? Not a chromosome, but a few DNA markers off from other family members. It's not one of those situations that really has me concerned that much, because the government's had my DNA for many years because of my time in the Navy. So, if you're going to be tied to any DNA-related crimes, I'm definitely going to be found. So it's not because of that. I just don't like the idea. Even the government I wasn't so happy with having access to my DNA. But this nonprofit public benefit company won the auction with $305 million. Now, if you remember, they were prevented from bidding before, and there was a lawsuit that was held that essentially the court said, hey, you don't have the money to pay for this. And they basically said later it had obtained backing from a Fortune 500 company with a current market cap of more than $100 billion and $17 billion in cash on hand. So that is no small investment fund. So she's backed by someone. Now, Regeneron had operated to see the best and final and make a higher bid, but it declined. It is set to receive a $10 million termination fee, according to court filings. So they won $10 million just because of the lawsuit. So they came out ahead for really doing nothing more than having some lawyers and some bids. So I'm sure that acquisition was going to cost some money regardless. So anyway, $10 million. So an expert hired by the court to review the data privacy concerns over sale of 23andMe had submitted a report on Wednesday that noted that the new founder, of course, who had been the chief executive when the breach occurred, but, oftentimes the boss isn't always in charge. It's the company and the IT folks and everything else. Now, we know that Wojcicki was, and if I pronounce her last name incorrectly, I apologize. We know that she was originally married to a Google co-founder, Sergey Brin. And, of course, 23andMe went public in 2021 through a merger with a blank check vehicle sponsored by Richard Branson. So friends and friends and friends, rich of the rich. So we will see where this goes. Now, they had bid 40 cents a share to acquire the company. So those of you that are stockholders in this, the stock over the counters raised to $5.49. Belief that the company will stage recovery. Now, if the stock stays up over the counter above $5.49, they have a good chance of being relisted and to be a true SEC, basic a stock exchange company. So time will tell where this goes. Okay, as we're going to get into the rest of the stack in a few minutes, of course, I want to welcome you again to episode 1827. A quick shout out to our incredible sponsor, GoDaddy. Exclusive deals and discounts at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. And to all of our listeners, you are the heartbeat of this show. If you want to support GNC, head over to geeknewscentral.com/insider and become a GNC insider. We're lit and live. Don't just listen, experience the show live by grabbing a modern podcasting app. At podcastapps.com, you can interact in real time. And you can check out the full Geek News Central universe at geeknewscentral.com, where you find all of our partner shows and tons of new content that is up on the website on a daily basis. Of course, stay in the loop, follow or subscribe to the podcast. Via your favorite podcast app. And don't forget to sign up for the newsletter. The newsletter is available there at geeknewscentral.com. Of course, you can join the conversation at geeknews.chat, or you can join the conversation geeknews@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on X at Geek News. And you can even catch me on Facebook very simply just by searching for my name. And of course, Geek News Central listeners, you can save. You can save as the official sponsor here, GoDaddy. It's got great deals for you, ongoing great deals. Let's start with a website or a podcast. You get that going. GNC codes make it easy and affordable. Grab GoDaddy's economy hosting for just $6.99 a month. That's a full year of hosting with a free domain name, professional email, and an SSL certificate. If you're interested in WordPress, my favorite, WordPress managed hosting is just $12.99 a month, which includes free domain name, professional email, and an SSL certificate. And of course, if you need a domain name, get yours for just $11.99. Of course, GoDaddy website builder, you can get a free 30-day trial, personal business or business plus plans. And of course, I use all the GoDaddy products and services, and your support keeps this podcast alive. Use our codes, click and save. You're backing this independent team. And of course, share my codes with family and friends. It's greatly appreciated when you do. So everyone, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. And I definitely want to take a minute and share with you guys. Last Thursday, I met with a couple of my team members for Blueberry. One of them has type 2 diabetes like I do. And I was, he's got the patch, one of those patches that measures the blood sugar. And, I basically said, my insurance won't do it. I have to poke, prick blood, and check the levels. And, that's, in my opinion, quite the antiquated way to go, considering they've got all these monitors and how expensive they were. And he mentioned to me that you can now get blood sugar monitoring for about $100 a month if you want to pay for it yourself. So I ordered from Amazon a Dexcom system, and those of you that have type 2 diabetes may be aware of these devices, and I started wearing it today. It came in, and I'm always interested in the tech of these things, and this applicator, I can see potentially why part of this cost about $50 every 2 weeks. But this applicator is very, very simple to deploy the sensor. And I'm going to be very, very curious now because, to be honest with you, I just got sick and tired of poke. And, those of you that have to check your blood sugar from time to time know what I'm talking about. So I think this is going to be, it's $100 a month, but, for being able to watch things really hour by hour, day by day, see what I've done, what I've ate, because I kind of have an idea all these years later, but to have it really be able to say, hey, alert, your blood sugar's high or low, and kind of be able to get a better idea, I think is fantastic. But if you didn't know that these are available, and this is not sponsored, so just so you aware, the company that it's called Dexcom, and I think it actually goes under a different name online. You can go to Stello. Stello is the name of the of the app. So that's what I found. I found the Stello piece on Amazon, and so anyway, it's going to be interesting, and I'll keep you all advised for those of you that even care, and those of you maybe facing type 2, and maybe those of you that have never used one of these devices before. But I'm taking a little more care to know, to understand, and I always have, but it's nice to kind of have this, hour by hour, what I've ate, did it matter? And, typically I'm, pretty good at being able to tell where my sugar's at just because I know my body. And as I suspected when I first few readings I got today, I just got done eating. So, of course, sugar was up a little bit. Now the question is, how fast does it come down? That is really the key. So, just give you an update on that and what I'm doing, and trying the goal here over the next 6 months is try to lose 40 pounds. So big challenge. I've never lost more than 20. So at one time. So the goal is 40, and we'll see if I can get skinny. Not really skinny, but I'd like to get down to 160 pounds. That's kind of the target, because I'm right now like 196, something like that. And if I could lose 40 pounds, that would be fantastic. The goal really is kind of like 157. I don't know why. It's just a number that's stuck in my head. So anyway, enough personal discussion. Hey, I do want to thank the insiders. I want to thank James for his donation, sustaining donation of $2 a month. Nigel Cottrell for his $25 Alihi Warrior donation. Dale Taylor for his $25 Warrior donation. And it's actually Alahi Chief donation, and Andrew Palmer for his $5 Ohana donation. Thank you so much for that. And some of you are still sending some sats. It's slowed down a little bit. So, definitely check out one of those new podcasting apps. It's well worth the time to do so, and check out all the new features, even if you're not boosting. Now, I know this is going to thrill about 50% of you. Please don't unsubscribe, but comically, the Trump Mobile has launched a $47 gold phone service. The Trump branded T1 phone will apparently be made in America. Apparently, that's the sales pitch. We will see, and I'm sure it's going to be running on Android. Maybe, I don't know, but you're going to be able to get a gold phone for $499. Of course, you had $10 million. You can get that. I think, is it 10 or 5? 5 or 10 million. You can get that gold card to be able to get a visa here. So something about gold, right? And details on the phone are sketchy. And but the image they put up was definitely photoshopped, as everyone says. But apparently we have 12 gigs of RAM, 256 of expandable storage, run on Android 15, have a 6.7-inch display. Who's going to make that in America? They're going to do this through T-Mobile and as an NVNO. Now, I heard a podcast just recently launched a NVNO service that was tied to T-Mobile. I thought that was kind of smart. We could have the Geek News Central phone network. Is it setting one of those up now as just getting a branding deal? That's, and setting a price, and, what does it take now to launch your own mobile phone service? It sounds like it to me. It's just as easy as doing a branding deal. Who knows? The Meta Oakley smart glasses are real, and here's what to expect from a Friday announcement. The new generation smart glasses is upon us, with an announcement coming this Friday. So, here's what about all these glasses that I love and hate. I would really love to try the tech. I really would. I would nothing more than love to order a set of these Oakley smart glasses. But number two, I look like dog doo-doo in Oakley sunglasses. I really do. I'm not 25 years old anymore. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not a sports bra or anything. And I think it'd be cool. But also at the same time, I need a prescription pair. I don't need some that is just plain glasses. So apparently, those of you that are Oakley fans, you're going to there's a new Instagram Oakley Meta account. And the camera is centered on the nose bridge. And I'd be worried, as big as my nose is that the camera would just see my nose. It's going to be interesting how these are going to rest on the nose. There's got to be pads or something to keep it off your nose bridge, or that's going to be super painful. But anyway, they're predicting what it's going to look like. I'm a big Oakley fan. I believe. Am I wearing Oakleys now? No, my previous glasses. These are not Oakleys, but I've owned a lot of Oakley eyewear that look great, but not sunglasses. So maybe it's coming to eyewear. Time will tell. But what say you? Are you going to go out there and get yourself a pair of Oakley Meta glasses, or is this just I have my old Apple camera glasses. Those got to be worth something at some point. So I've got them boxed away. Someday, sometime, maybe 20 years from now, someone will want to buy those for a museum or something. But considering the number of people that, how few that were actually out in the ecosphere. And just to think, I flew from Hawaii to San Francisco to get these stupid things from Apple back in the day. And I paid for that airline ticket too. There was no free ride on that. You guys remember that when I got those? And I probably wore those things less than 100 hours, largely because there was no prescription on them. And I just couldn't see. Oh, I think am I blurry right now? That it looks like it's focused. The International Space Station leak has pushed the Axiom Mission 4 launch to no earlier than June 19th. Concerns over a leak have been mounting for some time, and we know it's getting along in the tooth. The Russian segment is beset of small cracks, and they apparently have found the issue, as they say, that pressure was now stable, and would have been before dropping. So they didn't want to bring people up there. So maybe we will have a launch on the 19th with this crew for Crew Dragon. So time will tell. Let me move this over and double check and see, because it looks clear. If you're watching the show today, just check in and say hello. So anyway, this ISS leak, and I think I would be keeping my oxygen mask close. They obviously know what to do in case there's a big leak. They'd have to shut the module off. But it seems to me like that would be I don't think I'd keep too many personal items over in that segment, but it is the Russian segment. So, Russian stuff never breaks, right? Never breaks at all. Hey, if you're running Windows 11, you may have gotten a retro Vista boot noise. Windows insiders on the beta and dev builds were greeted with a nostalgic startup sound after the latest update. Yep, you heard the old Vista boot. And I don't even remember what that boot noise is, but yeah, it's a bug, but it's kind of a funny one. It really is, and they'll get that switched around. The next Galaxy Watch will read antioxidant levels and give you useful bedtime guidance and become the running coach you always wanted. And so that's interesting. It's going to watch antioxidant levels. Is that really a thing? Those of you that are out there that are health nuts, please give me some feedback. What is it actually reading? So what does it say? It's doing everything it has done. It's looking at your heartbeat, your sleeping time. I don't sleep with my watch. That's the only thing. But antioxidants, I guess, is this from exercise? Now, what's funny is they don't give too much detail on this antioxidant stuff. It says it's going to introduce antioxidants, but it doesn't tell you exactly what. So the next Galaxy Watch will read antioxidant levels, give you useful bedtime guidance, and become the running coach you always wanted. I can't run on a surface because of my back injury, but any of you got one of these Galaxy Watches? Yeah, here's the thing. I waited, and one of the reasons why I was waiting to hopefully not have to do this patch thing was I wanted the ability to have my watch do the blood sugar levels. And of course, it's never come. And of course, I've seen advertisements on various social media platforms that talk about these new sensors. You can just stick your finger in it. Of course, from China, that's supposed to tell you your blood sugar levels, but it's fake advertising. There's no such thing. All it tells is oxygen level, just like anything, like a regular oxygen level, your heartbeat, and doesn't really tell you anything more than that. So don't think you're going to go out and buy one of those $20 devices. I tried because I thought, oh, well, maybe there's something out there. And when it came, they advertised that it would do blood sugar levels, but no, it's total false advertising. So I've got something now that, I can check my oxygen level with. But other than that, it's $20 wasted. Google's $32 billion Wiz deal draws DOJ antitrust scrutiny. According to reports, U.S. Department of Justice will assess whether the deal would harm competition. I'm not really familiar with Wiz. So I guess Wiz is a cybersecurity product. So Bloomberg noted the companies were anticipating pushback, with Google agreeing to a breakup fee of roughly $3.2 billion should the deal fall through. The proposed deal comes after a year after Wiz walked away from a $23 billion offer, is expected to reorder the competitive landscape with Microsoft and reshape how investors think about funding cloud security startups. Apparently, Google struggled for relevance in enterprise cybersecurity, but apparently Wiz is going to help you with the many assets the company is chasing an ambitious strategy, blah, blah, blah. So, of course, the DOJ is going to look at anything Google is doing right now, considering they're just coming off this trial. So, so be it. Of course, we just passed Father's Day, and for all the fathers out there, happy Father's Day. 4 of my 5 kids checked in on me, so, I feel pretty good about that. The 5th one, I don't know what she's doing, but one of them forgot. So I'm not alone. I was talking to some other people today, and someone else was saying, yeah, 2 of my kids forgot to wish me a happy Father's Day. They remember about Mother's Day, but they don't remember about Father's Day, do they? So, even Shoko has said happy Father's Day, which was nice. So, and, other people did as well. But when your only children forget, you kind of like, I wonder if I should forget their birthday. So Victoria's Secret says all systems are back online. As basically what triggered that was I was thinking it wasn't Father's Day. It was, it was Father's Day. It wasn't Mother's Day. So it wasn't like, well, maybe the guys bought some Victoria's Secret stuff for their wives for Father's Day. I don't know. But Victoria's Secret says all systems are back online following the cyber attack, and it's investigating they're investigating how the attack happened and so forth. So you can go out there and buy some Victoria's Secret's some products here. So it's been 50 years since Jaws. Can you believe that? So every Jaws movie is now coming to online. And so if you miss, want to watch the full series again, it will be available. And I don't think I want to watch Jaws once again. I a little past that. I think I watched the first two, and that's probably all. One thing, and I don't think I picked up on this beginning, but there was some Ice Age puppies, and that were essentially buried in frozen ice for like 14,000 years. Now, these Ice Age puppies were not puppies. They were wolf cubs. And there's some remarkable science that's been pulled out of them. They died suddenly, probably in a landslide or something to that effect. But they've been able to do all kinds of analysis on what they had in their stomach and a whole bunch of stuff. It's crazy. So a link is in the show notes on that. And you can take a link and take a read through the link. But pretty impressive. 14,000 years ago. Just think about the science we have today and what we're able to extract and learn. Now, what will they be doing against us in 20 or 30,000 years? That's the next question. Maybe watching this type of content here and look at look at those primitive people doing podcasts when, we could just be putting the content out through telepathy or something. OnePlus could be writing a tablet to take on the mighty iPad. Well, I know a lot of people have different devices besides the iPad as far as tablets go. I know there's a strong number of a lot of people have either Microsoft or Samsung tablets, that type of thing, and Android-based tablets. But they're saying OnePlus could be writing a tablet, and it'll be a budget Android tablet. Leaked renders show familiar design with 11-inch display and a MediaTek Helio G100 processor, a 9340 mAh battery. Tablet is expected to ship with Android 15, so we will see if this is a go and how much it's going to cost out of the box. So any of you that do not like iPhone products and services, you do have a option. This headline from CNET says, "You are lazy. Your passwords are lazy and hackers love it." A new CNET survey finds 49% of adults have risky password habits. Nearly 1 in 4 of us use the same passwords for multiple accounts. So, come on now. There's no need for that at this time. I'm a big 1Password user. I'm also doing a lot of passkeys these days. So, go out there and get yourself a password manager. It's really, really time to do that. The CNET survey found the risky password habits U.S. most adults commonly turn to include reusing passwords and using a personal data as part of a password. While 24% they use the same password for different accounts, 8% admit to using password that they know. What? 8% admitted using a password they know was compromised in a data breach? What? What? 8% admitted to using a password that they know is compromised in a data breach. I guess they're just hoping that people aren't going to log in to their account or know what accounts they're using. So, in the past year, which of the following have you incorporated when creating and updating your passwords? 25% were using a randomly generated password. 24% a password shared with another account. 15% a birthday anniversary. 14% name of a pet. 11% part of their own name. 11% a family member's name. Again, 8% that knew their password's been compromised. A previous or current street address, 6%. My child's name, 6%. A common sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5%. The word password, 3%. A college or professional sports team, 3%. And none of these, 23%, and prefer not to say 17%. Come on, come on, come on, come on! As a listener of the show, I know you are not doing this. There's no way. Matter of fact, I had a meeting with my team members today, and we were talking about all of the different services we use. And are we using two-factor authentication? Are we using passkey? Or, what are we using to make sure that we're, keeping things locked down? And, we felt pretty good coming out of that, but I'm just always like nervous about it. Your, my, and everyone else's least favorite browser finally added a proper password manager. Yeah, Microsoft Edge has introduced a new password management feature. The tool is available as part of Microsoft 365. So if you're an Edge user, you've got one built in. So admins now have more control over users' credentials. So credential leaking is always an issue. So yes, Edge now has a password manager. Even Chrome has a password manager. It's not super great, but it might be better than nothing. Hackers claim 64 million leaked T-Mobile records, but it denies the breach. And here's what customers need to know. They've said they've stolen a fresh batch of T-Mobile customer data. What did they say they got? Records includes names, email addresses, phone numbers, and other PII. I don't consider my name, email, or phone number PII. But if you have my Social Security out there, that's definitely PII. But my Social Security has been leaked so many other times. We really look. We go through every 3 months. Do we need this data from our customers? What do we not need? And trying to narrow the amount of data we hold. I'd love to have more data, but I don't want to hold any more data. I really don't. It's like even having the zip code I don't like, but we have to because of credit card charges. So it's just some stuff out there we have to hold, but we make sure that is given the top attention. Those of you that have Rokus, apparently there's going to be some update. If your home screen changes, it's because you're special. And the new home page makes key sections faster to find. And it's apparently a work in progress and likely to change again. And you can opt out if you're offered the update. And I don't get into Roku too much. My Sony TV has an interface. I use Amazon Fire TVs a lot. Don't use my Roku a lot anymore. But all my TCL TVs, like the one directly in front of me, are technically Rokus in disguise, but I just use it for screen repeating. Kia has a new small affordable electric car. Thought I pulled something. The 2026 EV4 sedan, and it looks kind of nice. The sedan goes on sale in the U.S. towards the end of the year. Again, called the EV4. They do about 330 miles on a charge. But I have not yet found the price on it. They go through and talk a lot about it, how it's efficient, and did they give a price? I just keep going here. And a lot of copying from Tesla and others. Okay, the car's going to, wow. So it's going to be between 37 and 39,000. So still a lot for a sedan. That's the standard range. So what's the standard range difference? And so it'll probably be 45,000 for for the extended range and whatever that may be. So Kia EV4. Apparently WhatsApp is going to start showing more adverts in the messaging app. And there's some apps that I've had on my phone that have become completely useless. Kik was an app I used for years. Piece of junk. And there's other apps that are throwing in advertising. And if it starts throwing a lot of apps, I'm just going to be pissed. I might, I use WhatsApp enough. I might be empowered to pay for no apps using WhatsApp. In Asia, that's how I talk to my employees. It's how we all communicate. Um, and it depends on where you're at in Asia. Some folks use Line. So yeah, if I start getting adverts in WhatsApp, it's gonna really be negative. An Android 16 glitch is making some Pixel phones a pain to navigate. Even simple swipes and taps are not playing nice. So here's what you really need to know about this, and it's typically two things. Some Pixel 8 Pro owners are reporting delays up to 30 seconds to just swipe or go back. Meanwhile, Pixel 9 Pro XL owners are saying the swipe up gesture is just not even working. So a number of folks are seeing this. So if you're on an older phone and you have Android 16, be aware that these glitches are happening. NASA has teamed up with India, and I didn't know that this is kind of surprising to me. They're launching a satellite on an Indian rocket. So this is the India Satish Dhawan Space Center was going to launch this. It's called the NISAR, NISAR satellite. And what really got me interested in this, those of you may have heard me talk in the past about synthetic aperture radar. And I will just say personally, I know a hell of a lot about synthetic aperture radar. I've known, for a very long time. I, at one time, me and a couple other people were the foremost knowledgeable operators of synthetic aperture radar. And I have literally saw tens of thousands of synthetic aperture radar images. It's a topic I know very, 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 very well. So, weighing almost 3 tons and boasting 12-meter radar dish, the U.S. $1.5 billion NISAR satellite will track ground under our feet and water that flows over and through it in unprecedented detail. Now, there are conditions for this, of course. And a good thing about synthetic aperture radar, it can penetrate clouds. It's an all-weather type of system. And so this thing will work, doesn't matter, day or night. The NISAR is a collaboration between the National Space Agencies of the United States and India SRO, and they've overcome these challenges by using synthetic aperture radar to take images of the Earth. So what is SAR? For military use, it's been used for military. Rather than using reflected sunlight to passively image the Earth's surface, SAR works by actively beaming a radar signal towards the surface and detected the reflected signal. Think of this as using a flash to take a photo in a dark room. Flash, 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 flash at the speed of light. This means SAR can take images of the Earth's surface both during the day and night, and it gives you a very interesting image. Now, depending on your angle of attack and what you can see. And there's different types of SAR and the way it works and how it's how the frequencies are. And this image that I'm seeing here of NISAR data, the beauty about this is it's very accurate. Very accurate. They said it's accurate to an inch. Now, that's impressive. So let's say you want to see what's happening with erosion or water levels, all kinds of data like this that you can detect changes to the surface. Now, I don't know how this satellite orbits work, but there are some interesting things that can be done if you image the same location twice from the same position. All kinds of very cool stuff. Now, it will be able to provide high-resolution images of almost all land and ice surfaces around the globe every 12 days. Now, let me tell you, that's a hell a lot of data. Hella data. The NISAR satellite will use to monitor forest biomass. Its ability to simultaneously penetrate vegetation, detect water, will also allow it to accurately map flooded vegetation. Satellite will be able to detect changes in the height of Earth's surface of a few what? The satellite will be able to detect changes in the height of the Earth's surface a few centimeters or even millimeters, because change in height creates tiny shifts in the reflected radar signal, aka bounce time to get back and forth. And more tech. There's a little more tech to it than that, but be able to track dam heights and a whole bunch of other stuff. Now, I will say this: depending on the type of technology they use and the wavelength and everything else, movement is not good. AKA anything on the ground moving as an image is being taken is not good. It's perfectly when there's no wind, when there's no vehicles moving, when everything is absolutely still. That's the best time to get an image. So there's filtering technology that can be done, of course. So I'm going to be interested to see what this data looks like, to be honest with you. And it depends, again, down to resolution. But if they're saying they can measure changes in inches, okay, but inches of what? What's a pixel on that? If it's looking at an image, that pixel might be 100 square feet or larger. So whatever the pixel size is. If you're looking at, if one image takes 100 miles by 100 miles, well, I can guarantee you the pixel density, even if it's a 4K image, is one pixel is still going to be, a certain amount of land distance, or some amount of distance in the pixel. So it's very, very curious. It really, really is. I taught a lot of people synthetic aperture radar. Walmart is bringing drone deliveries to 3 more states. So they're going to bring delivery option 100 stores in Atlanta, Charlotte, Houston, Orlando, Tampa within the coming year. And this is going to make 5 states now: Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and Dallas-Fort Worth area. The drone operators will have a 6-mile range from stores. So, again, coming to Walmart, not Amazon, Walmart. Everyone's worried about the Mac OS and what's going to happen with the iPad, but Apple explains it will never let its tablets become full Macs. So, WWDC, some of the iPad OS 26, a bunch of Mac-like features, but they were not Macs. They have Mac-like features. And macOS Tahoe isn't designed for tablets. But Apple is happy to borrow ideas from each platform. So it's going to look and kind of feel the same, but not be the same. Google Cloud had an outage. The outage struck last Thursday and meant that Google Cloud customers could not access their rented infrastructure for at least 3 hours. Wow. Among the customers impacted by the event was Cloudflare. So, yeah, a lot of people had outages. And we did not. We run almost exclusive on Amazon services, and we use a little Cloudflare stuff for some things, but not see a problem. Amazon ads and Roku set landmark pack, giving brands access to 80% of connected TV households. I'm telling you, Roku needs money. And so they're going to do deals to drive revenue. And they're going to tie it into the Amazon demand side platform, DSP. It's a term in podcasting I know a lot, DSPs. Oh, we're tied into 23 DSPs, 22 DSPs. We're adding DSPs. But anyway, what that means is more ads for the Roku. So police seized a drug marketplace. So law enforcement authorities from 6 countries took down the Archetype market, a darknet drug market that's been operating since 2020. And the market customers gave them access to high volumes of drugs, including coke, amphetamines, heroin, cannabis, MDMA, and synthetic opioids like fentanyl through more than 3,200 registered vendors. Wow. Over its 5 years of activity, the marketplace amassed 612,000 users. So how does this work? You go on there and you buy your drug of choice. Do they ship it to you? Do you meet in the dark of night? How does this all work? As part of this joint action codenamed Operation Deep Sentinel, led by German police and supported by Europol, an investigation in the Netherlands took down the marketplace infrastructure with a 30-year-old German national suspected being the administrator, and he has been arrested. In total, law enforcement seized 47 smartphones, 45 computers, narcotics, and assets worth 8 million euros. Wow. They arrested 270 suspects following international joint action that was going after the vendors. So police in Europe, South America, Asia, and the United States also seized more than 2 tons of drugs, again, including amphetamines, cocaine, ketamine, opioids, cannabis, and over 184 million or 207 million US dollars in cash and cryptocurrency, and over, 180 firearms. Where there are drugs, there are firearms. So another dark net drug place shut down, but it's been running for nearly 5 years. Anything like that is just, it's going to get busted at some point, for sure. One thing that, again, I want to talk about here just a little bit as we getting near the end of the show. AI isn't taking your job for now, but the big threat, I agree, is a growing skills gap. AI talent remains scarce. And we've been talking about this a lot by my team. We talked about it this morning when I had my morning meeting. I want everyone engaged, using tools, finding out what works, what doesn't, and putting some time each week into testing tools, even my coders. And, my coders are worried, but I'm not worried right now. But what I want is efficiency, more efficiency. If we can gain efficiency through AI, it makes projects get done faster, makes the teamwork more efficient. We get better product, maybe. That's really all it's all about. So if you're not doing any AI stuff at work, if you're working in a job that does not require AI, hedge your bets. Please hedge your bets and get a ChatGPT free account. Go and play with it. Ask it questions. Help it help you in your general day-to-day life. Have it tested against data that you have. It's really super critical. There's lots of cool things that it can do that I think a lot of people don't know. I'm learning new stuff every day. But a survey of 40,000 employers in 42 countries found that 74% of employees still struggle. Employers still struggle to find skilled talent, with only 16% of execs confident in their tech teams and 60% citing the skills gap as a key barrier to digital strategies. Bain & Co. found that 41% of corporate leaders say limited in-house expertise has slowed AI adoption. Be that person in your company that figures out a use case. Pay in AI skills continue growing 11% a year since 2019. Workers with AI skills such as prompt engineering command a 56 wage premium. It's really important. I keep saying this, and I hope you're listening to me. Read this article. Again, if you're in a job and, here I am, right? I'm looking ahead. When do I want to retire? Am I going to make it before I become obsolete? No, because I'm staying current. I'm engaging. I'm figuring out what works and what doesn't. And it's super critical. You got to do it. So again, it's not taking your job, but the threat is a growing skills gap, and you don't want to be the one with the skills gap when it comes time for someone to, put in a, basically new policy, and you be no longer a valuable contributor to your company. All right, as always, we want to thank you for being here. Don't forget, geeknews@gmail.com is the email address, at Geek News on Twitter, at geeknews@geeknews.chat for Mastodon. And of course, don't forget about our sponsor at GoDaddy, geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. If you want to become an insider, please consider becoming an insider at geeknewscentral.com/insider with your 2, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, or one-time big donation. We definitely appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the podcast. It's been greatly appreciated that you do. And we will see you next time here on the show. We'll be back with you Thursday. Everyone take care. Bye-bye.